believer, your spirit is made right. But sometimes the heart realm, the soul realm, the mind realm is a little slow getting the message because life has left a hole in it due to molestation, low self-esteem, abuse. But I came to tell you that God is coming to heal the hole in your soul. My sister Leandria is going to help me with this story. Take your time, sister. Sing it for somebody. Deliver me. Rescue me from myself. 'Cause all I seem to do is hurt me. Anybody overthink a lot? That hurts you. Hurt me. That's right. Now let's take it up and cry out. Say, yes, sir. Deliver me. Take your time. 'Cause all I seem to do is hurt me. Anybody out there got that message? We should be finishing it, but I need you to just say it one more time. Deliver me. 'Cause all I seem to do is hurt me. Rescue me from myself, God. Hurt me. Try sitting in my background. Say it again. Hold on.
I just want you to listen to that song because the reality is that a lot of times what we do, especially in business, we come to business and it is scary sometimes because there's a lot of things that are going on. We have to build the business from the foundation up. And as we are building the business from the foundation up, what happens a lot of times is we get into this space of fear. And sometimes we have to deliver ourselves from ourselves, right? And so the theme for tonight's live is never be afraid to meet the celebrity, right? Because, and I used to be this way. I used to get in the company of people who were, celebrities per se. And I would just freeze. I would be scared to speak up, scared to say anything, scared to meet them simply because I was just afraid, just in awe of who they were. But the reality is that we were all born naked and scared. Every single last one of us. And what society does is it puts these labels on us. It puts these labels on this person or that person, depending on whether they are, they have more money or whether they don't have more money, or, whether they're the person that's holding the sign on the side of the road, right? It puts these labels on people. And the reality is that, we were all born the same way. We were all born the same way. And we have to understand that. We have to understand that even whether they're the CEO of the organization, whether they're the president of the United States, whether they're the president of, whatever country they're the president of, each and every last one of us have our weaknesses. Each and every last one of us has that thing that is scary on the inside. And when we look at it that way, then we change the way that we think about it, right? We change the way that we think about it because we think of these people as these people that are all, big and mighty, when the reality is that it is not. We don't need to look at it in that manner. We just need to look at them as people. Right. And so what I do, and I'm very intentional about this, and this is a John Maxwell thing, and I tell people this all the time, is that whenever I go to anywhere and I see someone who is doing well at what they're doing, you see, all I need to know is the knowledge. All I have to have is just a little bit or a little piece of knowledge. And so I encourage you to do this. And so one of the things that he encourages you to do, that when you go somewhere and you see someone who is excellent at their game, he encourages you to go up to that person. He encourages you to introduce yourself, and he encourages you to take them out to dinner at your expense, of course, right? And so that's one of the things that I'm very intentional about doing. And I don't care who it is. And if one person turns me down, then I seek out another person, especially if I see someone who is like an amazing speaker, or they have been amazing at that game the entire time. I'm very intentional about that. And the reason why is because there's just 6 degrees of separation between each of us, right? And the reality is that we just need to be intentional about meeting the people as we elevate, as we level up, as we get higher in wherever we're going. We want to be intentional about meeting these people, making a mark, helping, us understand where they got to, how did they get to, what connections they have, not just what connections they have, right? But what knowledge they have in order to get us to that same place, because it's just knowledge, right? And see, and what we do is we stop in that fear, and we sit in that fear. And Anthony O'Neill, he had a interview with Pastor Mike, and it was absolutely phenomenal. So if you ever have the chance, go back and look at that interview, but it's on YouTube. But the interview, he talked about the fact that, whenever we fail, or whenever, something happens, we sit in that failure, right? So if I go up to someone who, I ask them, well, can we have dinner? And they turn me down. I don't stop there. I don't stop there. Because if I sit in that fear, if I sit in that failure, or what is deemed failure, which I don't think failure is failure at all. I think failure is just lessons, just us being taught a lesson. If I sit in that, then I won't ask the next person. And I remember doing this very same thing. I asked one person to, not too long ago, I asked one person if they would go out to dinner with me, and they didn't want to go out to dinner with me. And so I asked another person, and that person was actually the head person in the organization. And I actually got to go out to dinner with that person. So God never making any mistakes, but you have to understand that if I'd have sat in that fear, and I'd have said, well, this person didn't go out with me, so I'm just going to sit here because I don't feel like I'm worthy enough. When the reality is that I'm just as worthy as anybody else, and you're just as worthy as anybody else. So I encourage you to, as you grow in business, continue to level up, continue to do that thing that will help you get to that next level, because it's about relationship. It's about relationship building, and understanding that those relationships that you build. Now, I don't encourage you to build relationships with people who are not necessarily good people. I mean, as long as they're legal, as long as they're ethical, then you build those relationships, right? But don't be building relationships, with people that are not like that. But understanding that it is a relationship building, that a lot of times it's not about, what it's about who you know. It's about understanding that, this is, you can meet some amazing people if you just stop sitting in that fear. And so don't be afraid to walk up to the celebrity. Don't be afraid to walk up to that person who you think that did not want to meet you, or that you think, quote unquote, that doesn't want to they are not thinking about you. 9 times out of 10, they would love to meet you. Most people who are successful at what they do, they want to share the knowledge. They want to share the knowledge. It is movement. It is money all around us. Not just money. It is knowledge all around us. They want to share it. There are some people that are small-minded, and they don't want to share the knowledge. And, it is what it is. You have those people. There's nothing that you can do about those people. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to be very intentional. I'm very intentional about that one thing, about meeting that next person who will help me understand how to get to where they are, how to understand, what I need to do, and how to understand, how to level up, basically. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to get to that next level in life. We're trying to level up. So I encourage you not to be afraid to meet the celebrity. Okay. And so I'm gonna play a song, and this song is by Stephen Furtick, and it is an amazing song. And he talks about I will be confident. And so I want you to listen to this song because it is so amazing. And of course, I don't own the rights to the song. So here we go. Here we go.
The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me, they stumbled and fell. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this I will be confident. I've got a promise. Turning back is not an option. There's a calling on my life. I'm not about to drop it. I got this. For this I was chosen. The final word over me was spoken before I was born. I have a purpose that goes far beyond what I want, what I feel, what I see, and what they say cannot be. With God, all things are possible. When my desire aligns with the divine, I am unstoppable. In this, I will be confident. Of course, the climb is hard. I'm not surprised. The dream is difficult by design to make sure I rely on His might, not mine. His plan, not mine. His hand, not mine. My assignment was conceived in His heart, His mind. And the blessing ahead will always be greater than the battle behind. So this is not the time to compromise or entertain 1,000 lies and a million reasons why I can't, or it won't, or it's not, or I'll never. I've heard it before, so shut up, devil. God didn't say He'd make it easy. He said He'd make me better, make me strong, and give me grace to carry on. No matter what the opposition, I only need one weapon. I have the faith to overcome. In this, I will be confident. I'm too close to quit, and the stakes are too great for me to hesitate. So whatever it costs, whatever it takes, I'll keep coming. I show up, take the shot with my hands shaking. The fear is real, but it won't break me. God will not fail me, nor forsake me. I'll keep coming. I'll step to the battle like it's already won. Like I got the enemy on the run. I speak and believe like it's already done. In this, I will be confident.
And so I encourage you tonight to just be confident. Be confident. Tell the devil to shut up. Because the reality is that we will overcome. The climb is not easy. The climb in business is not easy. It's hard. I mean, it is what it is. But the climb in nursing was hard too, as well, right? The climb in nursing was not easy. I remember my first day on the unit. I remember going in and like, oh, this is not going to be as easy as what I thought it was going to be. Not that I really thought it was going to ever be easy. But the reality is that nothing is ever comes to you. If it is worth it, it will never come to you. It will never be easy. But the reality is that if you just take one piece, we talk about, I have a clubhouse room on, I have a room on Clubhouse that under Black Nurses Entrepreneurs that we run every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you have the opportunity to come in there and we talk about your big audacious goals, and the reality is that you have this big audacious goal, you have this elephant that you're trying to eat, right? And we look at the elephant and we think we can't get our mouth around that elephant. But if we just eat that elephant one bite at a time, then we're good. If we just take that step, we look at the staircase and we think, well, we can't, get to the top of that staircase. But the reality is that if we just take that one step at a time, literally one step at a time. And if the way that I look at it is that God gives me renewed strength day by day. All I have to do is get to that next day. If I'm having a bad day, that next day I can pull it off. I have very much confidence because God said that He would do exceedingly abundantly above more than we could ask or think. So I encourage you to be confident in what you're doing. Go meet the celebrity. Do whatever you have to do in order to make sure, as long as it's legal and ethical, okay? All right. Don't be going to jail behind it. All right. But, do whatever you have to do in order to make sure that you are getting to that goal, working every day, making it happen. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day.